Vincent, welcome. Really excited about this conversation. You know, you and I have talked a lot about what we've referred to and some experts have referred to as a looming health crisis. Let's talk about that first, but we also want to talk about the solution. We've adopted this vision together. We've actually, in its infancy 6 months ago, it's really blossomed into something I think that can really, really make a difference in the world. Toxicity in the digital age and a solution. So I really want to get into the weeds on this. I really want to start to really talk about this. And this is something that you brought to me, and I really did my homework. And because when you first came to me, it just sounded like you were hitting the alarm bell, hitting the panic button. Digital toxicity, EMFs, ELFs, radio frequency. It just sounded like it's over the top. How did you first become aware of it?
You can control a lot of things in your life, right? You don't want to smoke cigarettes, you can stay healthy. If you eat well, you stay healthy. But things that you can't avoid that affect you. This little device is around us 24 hours a day. We plug in, we sleep next to it, it's in our pocket, it's by our chest, it's on us, and it's having a huge effect on us. You can't hide from it. You can't hide from electromagnetic frequencies, extremely low frequencies. There's nowhere to go. If there was, we'd be in a healthy environment right now. Now that you're digging deep into it, give us some stats. Educate me. If I brought this to you as something, say, here's a problem that has to be addressed, and it has to be addressed quickly because it's affecting the United States. You know, when you started looking into it, what did you learn?
Well, it was interesting because I kind of poo-pooed it at first, but then you sent me some articles, some videos, and as I got into it, traditional medicine, most people are thought to think of ionizing radiation. Now that sounds really scary, ionizing radiation. But what ionizing radiation is like X-rays and gamma rays and uranium and all this crazy stuff from outer space. We know that impacts people's body negatively, damages their DNA, damages their body. And if you get enough radiation, it'll actually kill you, okay? Well, put that aside. That's not what we're talking about. Then you know that if you can heat somebody's body up, if you get it to a certain temperature, that will cause damage. So everybody said, well, this isn't ionizing and it doesn't heat up the body. There's no thermal effects. How can it really impact your body? And so I actually came across work from a Dr. Martin Paul, who was quite interesting. He was a biochemist and a physicist. And what he did is I believe, many people believe, he should win the Nobel Prize because what he did was he identified this magnifying mechanism inside people's cells that causes this damage. I just want to give you one example. One example is this. They exposed living tissue to 1,600 chest x-rays. Now, nobody in their lifetime is going to have 1,600 chest x-rays. Very rarely. Almost would never happen. They took that same living tissue and exposed it to 24 hours of cell phone radiation. Same exact level of DNA damage.
Same level.
Same level.
In 24 hours of
24,
use.
right. Now, everybody uses their cell phone for 24 hours.
Everyone.
Everybody. And then now we're going to get into how we're going to solve this because you really come up with a phenomenal solution. But look, I spent enough time in academic medicine and medicine to be able to read a study and know if it's valid, know if it's not. And quite often in the study they'll say, well, we're not sure. It's not conclusive. These studies are conclusive. If I could, I'm going on a little bit, but if I could give you another example, and this is multifactorial. We don't exactly know why or how, but sperm counts, have gone down by more than 50% in all the technologically advanced countries. Now, smoking, alcohol, a lot of different factors, but it is absolutely staggering. There's documented neuropsychiatric effects, documented effects on the heart, documented effects on multiple organ systems, the immune system. One of the most chilling and concerning effects is on fetal and immediately after, because the way this works is it's more impact on areas with a lot of water. And in the fetus area, the placenta has a lot of fluid, as well as younger children, their fluid content is much higher. So it's really interesting. One last little anecdote. They knew that electrical energy would affect people. Many, many years ago, they found out that women who would use electric blankets in the first trimester of pregnancy would have a 10 times higher spontaneous abortion rate than that didn't, 1,000-fold increase. So they knew that these toxic energies affected people for many years. They've poo-pooed this non-thermal, non-ionizing radiation effect of EMF.
They're getting that from the dirty electricity.
Correct. Right.
They're getting it from outlets, they're getting it from leaving stuff plugged in, they're getting it from plugging their cell phone on the side of their bed. This, coupled with your cell phone, coupled with the idea that there's no place to hide, has a huge effect on the United States and the rest of the world. I believe the United States and England are getting affected the most.
Yes, and because a lot of other parts of the world, if you start doing research, they're actually protecting people from it. And you use the word hide, and that's actually a good thing. There's ways to insulate, we'll talk about that. There's the ways to eliminate it, limit it, but there's no way to hide. Think about this. You can stop smoking, all right? We know that smoking is a carcinogen, we know it. We know now that air pollution, we know pesticides and contaminants in the food are all there. But not only can't we hide from this, but it has an immediate and devastating impact, especially in the brain, nervous system, and in the heart, which is an electrical system, because what it does is it tends to interfere with those processes first and most. Your body has a tremendous number of detoxification mechanisms. One of those mechanisms is your liver. You drink, your liver on a fixed rate will detoxify the alcohol. Smoking, your lungs filters a lot of the carcinogens. Now, if you overload it over a long time, you can develop cancer. Kidneys filter. Skin is the greatest detoxifier of them all. But what I'm really concerned about is, and you know about this, is 5G. 5G is a very short wavelength, high energy that's actually going to dramatically impact people's retinas, the covering on the eye, eardrums, and skin. And it's really going to be a damaging, devastating effect. And the way Dr. Martin Paul describes it, it has this echo effect inside the body. So I know you've researched this as much as I have. Tell us some of the ways that people can start to avoid or protect themselves from this.
Well, I like to say when you're doing a detox program, any detox program, whether it's from digital toxicities or it's from food, don't detox and retox at the same time. So in other words, you can get little diffusers for your outlets. You can change your bulbs to LED bulbs. You can charge your phone away from your bed. There's a lot of little things. You can turn your Wi-Fi off in your house at night. Don't let your children, especially children, I see them playing with iPads all the time. You have to avoid that. I see women running, they're working out so hard, but meanwhile they have their cell phone stuck in their thing while they're running. That's a big problem. Huge problem.
Yes,
right?
you know, there's been, I'm sorry to interrupt, but there's been multiple cases where upper inner quadrant breast cancer, very rare area for breast cancer. There's a small but growing group of women who have that, and it's all women who had the antenna of their cell phone. Because when you drive down the road, every time you switch a cell tower, it powers up and powers down, powers up and powers down, and they've had a growing number of those types of cases.
It happens all the time. Even knowing what your battery's on. If your battery's on 2% or 5%, it's going to throw off more than it would if your battery was full. So there's a lot of little things just to be aware of, you know, and then to avoid it. avoid it as much as possible. Use an earpiece.
Right.
Try to clean up.
Right.
And then we get into the detoxification part.
Right. So again, a lot of times when people hear this, they're not going to disconnect from their cell phone. They're not going to live in a cave.
Right.
They're not going to move to a mountain. They're not going to go meditate in Tibet for the rest of their life. They have to live in this digital world. And this is what we refer to on our platform, Humanity Upgrade, as probably, I call it a looming health crisis. And
It is a looming health crisis.
yeah, and you know, it is. It really is. I call it a looming health crisis. And what we're trying to do is not just sit here and talk about a problem, all right? Hit the alarm bell, 911 emergency, let's do this. This is an emergency. We also want to talk about solutions. Now, you already mentioned some solutions. Let's decrease our exposure. And one thing that's really interesting I found out was that it's inversely proportional to the distance. Even 2 inches away from your head is better than sticking it in your ear. It makes a dramatic difference because as you move away, it drops off significantly. So if you are going to charge it in your room, put it 6 feet away if you can, you know, whatever, you know. And if you have to, kids are going to call, you know, we're not saying disconnect. What we're saying is be really smart, be aware. Another one, you sent me a video, it was potty pad. Like the kids have an iPad on their potty. They have it 24/7. And all you'd have to do is put it on, what do you call that? When you get on airplane mode.
Airplane mode.
Yeah, because then the Wi-Fi is not working and they can work it. But
There's babies and little infant strollers with them on there. The little walk things have iPad holders on there.
Right.
You see babies, literally babies, playing with a cell phone with Wi-Fi. That baby is now an antenna.
exactly. When you say antenna, that's correct because children, because they have such much higher water content than adults, they actually transmit the frequencies. All right, let's get into detox because you really, and you're a really polymath when it comes to health and nutrition.
Thank you.
And you came up with what we're calling digital detox. Explain that for us. Give you the highlights.
Highlights of digital detox. Well, we like to clean your body from the inside out, right? It's a whole program. So if we're doing a program, first we'd like to customize. We want to find out what's going on in your body. So we'll do a hair follicle test. That hair follicle test is going to give us what digital information, how much your phone's affecting you, how much Wi-Fi, how much you're in front of a TV, if you're wearing an earpiece, what kind of earpiece you're wearing, along with your vitamins, minerals, nutrients, micronutrients, amino acids, fatty acids. So we're going to have a full profile of what's going on in your body.
Stop there for a second, because when you said hair scan, I was like, what? You know, but it is absolutely amazing. If you start to do some research, what you'll see is that a hair shaft and hair follicle, carries an amazing amount of bioinformation. It's used by the police, it's used by employers, it's actually even used by NASA. And one of your friends, Dr. Rada, actually pointed that out to me. So there's a way, we have a way to excavate an unbelievable amount of granular information just from 3, 4, 5 hair follicles. I'm sorry to interrupt. Please keep going.
That's what we're doing. So we'll get all the information from that hair follicle. Then we will specifically customize supplements for you to protect your body, to get your body back in shape. Everything leaches, whether you're taking a medication, even if you're taking too much vitamins. If you're taking too much vitamin C, it's going to pull glutathione out. It's going to continually one thing pull from another. So you have to keep your body in harmony, perfect harmony.
Emphasize this, because this idea of customizing the nutrition is, a lot of people are taking, well, if some vitamins are good, a lot of vitamins are better. Clear up that myth for us.
Well, that's the way it works, right? I take this vitamin because my friend Lucy said, or my friend Joe said, take this. But if it was good for them, it doesn't necessarily mean it's good for you. And why are you taking it? This is the more. It's not the way it should be. Less is more. Everything has to work. I always talk about harmony and balance. It has to work in harmony. If your body's working systematically, you'll feel better. You'll have more energy. You'll look better. The digital detoxification is so important. It's even causing weight gain. in us for the first time. Talking about age, for the first time in history, I believe 3 years in a row, we're actually stagnant or actually going down a little bit. Why is that?
Yeah, that's an
What's
important
changed?
question. Yeah, so life expectancy in the United States, this is staggering. When there's food security, advanced health care, advanced nutrition, not only should it not be going down, it should be skyrocketing. Life expectancy. Life expectancy has gone down or stagnated the last 3 years in a row, which is really, really mind-boggling. And it's all these digital age toxicities, and it's not just nutrition and EMFs. It's tremendous amounts of stress. We're the most isolated and lonely society in history, and we have a lot of resources that talk about that. But let's stay on digital detox. Now, you pioneered a 5-day program. You turned me on to it. I absolutely love it because of the science. And I want to talk a little bit about the science, but tell them about the 5-day digital detox.
Well, we're going to put you on a 5-day digital detox program, which is really going to reboot your body. It's going to revitalize your body. This is a life expansion and wellness program. That's what it is. This is to make you live longer, but live longer healthier. Right? We're not looking for you to change everything in your life overnight. But I think that you can give yourself 5 days of a program that will cleanse you from the inside out, that'll reboot your metabolism, put your body into true autophagy, and at the same time, we're going to give you a specific blend that's going to leach and pull all the digital toxins out of your body. And it's made up of almost 12 different things, all organic, every bit of it. Everything is plant-based, all natural, nothing that will have any effect on you but positive.
No, you said autophagy. I want to get back to that because that's like a technical term. People might, ooh, what is that? But you also said cellular cleanse, and a lot of people make these comments, and how do you cleanse your cells? Well, again, this is something you turned me on to. Basically, this program is based on 2 of the greatest health and longevity innovations, breakthroughs in modern history. That is not an exaggeration. We have the references on the site. We have articles that'll back this up. Unbelievable solid science. As a matter of fact, autophagy, the 2016 Nobel Prize in Biochemistry and Medicine was a Japanese gentleman. I won't screw up his name. It's Yoshima. Anyway, an absolutely amazing study. What he proved is that if you strip the body of glucose for 24 to 48 hours, it completely transforms the cellular metabolism to take from sugar as a food source, the junk, literally the metabolites and the toxins that are inside the cell, uses them as fuel and cleans out the cells. It also gets rid of the cells that are too far gone, okay? And that's really an amazing process. So I interrupt again, but go ahead, go, please.
No, that's a big part of the process, right? You're killing off the cells that aren't working properly. You're revitalizing the new cells. Kind of like as we get older, we get a little wrinkly. Okay? So what happens, this takes like an old wrinkly cell, makes it plump and fresh and new again. And the ones that were too far gone, it eliminates them and flushes them out.
Right.
So this is a 5-day process, and then you have true health. And it's very simple to go through. We give you everything you need for 5 days will be sent to you in a kit for detoxification and for true health.
Digital detox.
What you feel like after this is nothing short of a miracle.
Yeah, I've done it twice. It absolutely, and again, this is anecdotal, please. I understand it's my experience. We recommend everybody experience it. I want to get a little bit more detail. So the first 2 days you go into this autophagy, it's a weird word. It's basically what it is it's the body. And what this does is this marshals millions of years, hundreds of millions of years of evolution, because human beings did not evolve in an environment where there was an excess of food. There was always food, almost always food shortages. Everybody in their life, the end, had food shortages, and the body learned to not only deal with it, but to turn it in its favor. And so what this does is this is actually taking 100, 200, a billion years of evolution, putting it in your favor. Day 3, what do? Is you go into something called ketosis. I know you know it. Ketosis is really popular, keto diets. Well, you don't want to be in ketosis for a long period of time. It's not healthy.
No, you should be careful with it. There's certain days when we put people on programs like this, we like to put them onto a 5-day cleansing, then we'll put them onto a 25-day clean eating, then they'll go back on 5-day cleansing. Let's say for weight loss, for an example. They can go on 5 days of a cleanse, 25 days, every month until they hit their ideal weight. And with that, not only true health, disease. If you read the articles, which I'm sure you've read 100 times now, there's publication after publication after publication, how sickness and cancer is going down, diabetes going down, all your health risks across the board. And it's easy as 5 days and it comes with you in one package. Simple.
Right. Now you said diet, and this is actually probably the best way to diet there is, but it's not a diet because everybody's exposed to these digital toxins, especially people who fly airplanes all the time, people who work in hospitals. Yeah, hospitals. And so this is not, everybody needs to do this. Even if you're going to the gym every day and you're exposed to these digital age toxicities, EMFs, ELFs. One final thing about the digital detox, at the end of it, what it's actually doing is they've proven it actually stimulates stem cells. Now, everybody's heard about stem cell transplants, how it's helping people with cancer. This is your own body generating its own stem cells. And you know what it has the best effect on? Is the immune system. Yeah, you're actually rejuvenating all the organs in your body, but you're rejuvenating the immune system. And this is not science fiction. This is not like we're thinking that this might be doing this. This is proven. And you mentioned a lot of these, inflammation is the substrate, it's the cause of almost every disease in the human body. If you can eliminate the inflammation, they are using similar programs to this for autoimmune disease, cancer. Amazing effect. We're not saying that we're treating cancer. That's not what this is about. No. But this transformation in the body's physiology, they're doing it for autoimmune disease, cancer, all these chronic diseases. And it's natural because it's using the body's own defense mechanisms against times when there wasn't an excess amount of food like there is today. We are living in this age of toxicity where part of the problem is an overabundance of food, yet more people are dying younger every year. It really is an interesting thing. You have, without a doubt, put, in my opinion, and that's why we're working together with Humanity Upgrade. Not only have you identified a problem, a looming health crisis, you have defined a solution that really, really makes a difference in people's lives. Really does.
I believe so. I believe coupling the two programs together, doing the hair follicle test, which we spoke of based on epigenetics, right? You are the air you breathe, the water you drink, the food you eat. Those are what you are. Those we can control. Right? We can make sure we put in our body. The Wi-Fi, that we can't control. So we have to take all of those, because they're affecting our epigenetics, plus controlling that Wi-Fi. So if you're doing a hair scan, making custom supplements to fill your needs, doing a 5-day cleanse to get your body rebooted back where it's supposed to be, and even healthier than you've been in years. Because remember, you've had this now. We're older, so when we were kids, nobody had the sickness. It wasn't like it is now. No one was attached to a cell phone. These kids today, by the time they're 15 years old, they've had a cell phone in their hand their entire life. They're already being affected. They're more toxic than we are, believe it or not, because they're around them 24 hours. So it doesn't matter if you're overweight, or you're skinny, or you're young. You have to go into the program, get the digital detoxification, and get healthier from the inside out. There's really no choice. You have to do it. I came up with it more, looking at it and working with different people. What I do is I find people like yourself. I'll research out 5, 10 of the doctors that I know that are truly going to look into and find every single detail They'll go and do investigations where we've had other problems in the world. They go to Japan, they go to Chernobyl. They're going, how did one person have healthy and the other one not be healthy, right? First come up with miso soup, some chlorella. So we put together a program that has all of the benefits from these areas. And now over years of studying it, right? It's not something I just made up or something I said. No, it's something I identified, and you always want to find people smarter than you. So I found the smartest people I know, and I ask a lot of questions, and I ask them to help me, to help humanity. This is humanity upgrade. That's what it's about. We're being affected. We have no choice. We have to fight back. We have to clean ourselves.
Vincent, you said a word named epigenetics. I think you may have even referred to it in the hair scan, epigenetic mapping. Well, I was actually introduced, when I went to medical school, DNA was the craze. We thought that we were going to be able to diagnose and cure every disease because we understood DNA. And as more and more DNA research came out, they found out that epigenetics is far more important. DNA is important. It's a critical and crucial understanding. But the epigenetics, now what epigenetics is things from the environment, not just the sun, the air, the food. It's your emotions have been proven. This is not science fiction. This is not, this is proof. Affects the expression of your genes. One of the books you sent to me, which was phenomenal, showed that excess amounts of sugar affect the genome where it actually increases proteins and enzymes inside the cell that are called pro-aging. Now, I like to be a pro, but I don't want pro-aging. You know what I'm saying? Like
Exactly.
pro-aging. So one is called PKA. People can look it up, protein kinase A. The other one is RAS. You know what it's so funny. You know what RAS stands for?
Tell us.
It came from rat sarcoma. This is that's where RAS
Really?
started with. Yeah. So I looked this stuff up because I have to understand where it comes from. And actually, sugar inside the cell encourages, through the genome, epigenetics, the secretion of this protein kinase A, which sounds complicated. All you have to know is pro-aging, and this other protein that they first found in rat sarcomas, okay, RAS. And what it does is it accelerates the aging process in the cell. Now, you're talking about epigenetics in another way. How do we identify the epigenome? Explain how we're doing that, because you're really an expert at that.
We're doing epigenetics. We talk about, like I always say, the air you breathe, the water you drink. Everything has an effect on your body, what it's doing. We use our DNA for an example, and we're testing it for supplements. My DNA is the same today as it was when I was 15 and when I'm 80. So I can't
Correct.
really base, how
Right.
am I going to base my health and my nutrition and my life off that when it's constantly changing? Our epigenetics is changing constantly.
Truth.
It's changing from what we're putting into our body. It's changing from what's affecting our body, even our thoughts. Have you ever noticed when someone comes in a room and they're tense?
Sure.
And you have that tense feeling, right?
Right.
Because your body, you're kind of like a tuning fork. It's going to be tuned into that. That's having an effect on you. Even someone's thoughts, even their anger, even their frustrations are having an effect on you. That's epigenetics. We do with the testing. Our hair follicle test is based on your individual epigenetics. That's why when I say we make customized supplements, we make those supplements based on what you put in your body in the last 3 months.
It's amazing. I mean,
Amazing.
it's amazing how granular you get. And I'm going to take it even a step further because I love this. I read this many years ago, and I couldn't believe it. It's not science fiction. There's a study of a group of people in Over-Calyx, northern Sweden. It's above the Arctic Circle. And they have proven, this is medical fact, that what your grandfather ate when he was 10, 11, 12 years old has a dramatic impact on his grandchildren. And basically it'll affect their life expectancy 2, 3, 4, 5 generations later. You have to look at this study. It's called Over-Calyx. We'll have it in the bio underneath here. Epigenetics is no joke. It is one of the most important things, one of the most important fields of research and science, and is one of the most, if not the most important thing affecting your health.
So we couple that with a perfect, clean 5-day plan specifically for you, and you have true health.
There you go. Vincent, and this has been a phenomenal conversation. We really, really appreciate you and all your expertise. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Doc. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.